Well, thank you guys all for joining our last Canva session. This session will be done by Nicole, and she is going to be walking us through how to make an infographic on Canva today. I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Nicole so she can show us how to do this.
Thanks so much, Taylor. So thank you all for joining. We've been talking about just the high-level ways to navigate through Canva using the free version. So tonight I'm going to just walk through some steps on creating a Canva design infographic using the free version. I'm going to go ahead and share here because I have something already started. Hope you all are having a great afternoon or evening. I need to just move this stuff around because I can't really see here. I'm going to minimize here. So an infographic is a great way to have a visual aid that can share a story regarding your organization or a cause. Today, Giving Tuesday is a great example of using an infographic to kind of show the highlights and show a little bit of data about your organization and really kind of share a call to action. So we're going to just go ahead and get started. So the way that you would start this with all projects or designs is you could either go to the Create Design button, you could type in the word infographic and select that from the screen, and I'll just type it in again to show you how that looks up. So when it comes up, it's going to give you a couple different options, whether you want to do a poster or a presentation. This one is just a simple infographic that we're going to use. That would be something that you could either use on your social media platforms, specifically LinkedIn. Infographics are great for LinkedIn, or if you wanted to print it out and do a rack card. So we're just going to start from a template that I've already selected. And I selected it already just because there are some that are not available through the free app. So we're going to just click on the one that I selected to work with. And today we're just going to work on redesigning this one based on the template that's already provided. So let me just move this out of the way again here. Make this a little bit bigger so folks can see. So what I'd like to do first is just kind of rearrange some things. But one of the things that I like to always do if I want to change the color is go ahead and upload the photo that I want to use. So I'm going to go to Uploads and just click on our logo. Our NC Growth logo is what I want to add to the design. And it's just taking a little bit of time to load there. So one thing I really like about using the template is that you can really easily, quickly change the features to match your desired needs in a very short amount of time. So I'm just going to remove this graphic from the bottom here, and I'm going to pull down our NC Growth logo and just minimize that to make it fit into the space that's already there for me. So this is just a quick way to go ahead and make those changes without doing too much of an overhaul there. So one thing I want to do is change the background color. So I'm going to just click the background, and as you can see, the purple line will highlight around and then go to the selected background color. So I love this because my colors from the photo is already here. So this is a great way to make sure that your brand, if you don't have a brand kit set up, that you can go right to the colors that reflect your photo to add those here. So I'm just going to click on a darker image, a darker color, so the background colors pop. So I'll just use this one. Actually, yeah, I'll use this one so I can have a little bit of contrast there, because I'm going to show you some other things. So just really quickly, I'm going to set up this infographic based on my organization, NC Growth. One of the things I like to do right away is to go ahead and rename the file. So I'm going to just rename it to NC Growth. I'll just put NC Growth infographic. And so when you save this file or you download it, it'll download with that file name, so it'll be easy for you to find in your file folder. So now I'm going to also just delete all of this text because I would like to also add another preloaded image that I'm going to use with our full name. So I'm going to click on that. Sometimes you can just double click, but sometimes that doesn't work. So I'm just gonna, it might be my signal. So I'm just going to upload that here. And I want to make sure that I'm maximizing the text so it shows there. Again, one of the great things about an infographic is you can share high level information to get your point across, or to use that kind of call to action kind of framework. So to save time, I've added some information, but I also suggest when you're working on an infographic that you start with an outline or your talking points or something that you really want to, convey to the audience, because you want to make sure that your message is clear and concise and it's, not confusing to the reader. So I am going to just change some things around here. One of the things, as you can see, you can add your own charts and graphs to your infographic, which is something that would be really great if you are trying to focus on your data points. So for this one specifically, let's see, you can go to elements over on the left toolbar here and scroll down, and then you can choose the type of chart that you want to utilize here in this infographic. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to click on the pie chart here, and I'm going to just I'll delete that, and then add in the pie chart information. So I have a quick cheat sheet here. Actually, let me do this instead. I'm going to go ahead and upload my chart that I pulled from our Salesforce. That might be a little bit easier, but I do want to. Oh, wow, there's so many things down there. Let's delete those. I guess I was clicking too quickly, so they all decided to upload there. So I want to just put this here so that I can reference that. Now I'm going to go to the charts and click on the chart that I want to use. And I'm going to add this in this corner over here. So I talked about this, I think, week 1 with the charts. You're able to add your data right into the graphic here. And as you can see, it's a little bit darker. We can change the text around it. So what I want to convey is the types of projects that we've done. So I'm just going to go in here and click on the label. And the first label will be ETAP, which is our Entrepreneur Technical Assistance Program. And this just talks about how many projects we've done. So I'm going to change this number to 121. And this is just for the year. So I want to let my funders know how many projects we've done and what types of projects we've done for the past 11 months, almost a year. So I'm going to just go in here and put in, I'll just for short type in ED, and our ED projects, it looks like it's 114. And then I'm going to put in SmartUp, which is an old program that we have, and then I'm going to put in 104. So I don't need these other two cells, so I'm going to just delete these rows right here. So delete those two rows so that my my chart reflects the data that I'm going to put in there. So go ahead and delete that reference there. And again, you can change the font. You can increase the size there and then the color to make that, easier to read. Okay, so another thing I'm going to do is maybe I want to reference the chart that's next to me. So of course you can edit this text to say whatever you want it to say. I'm going to just click here, and I have a sheet Then I'm just going to copy the text, and this is not going to look exactly like, oops, sorry, wrong window, what I have here, but this is just for a reference. So I'm going to just right click and paste my content right in there. And I can just choose to delete that. Maybe I want to make that font a little bit bigger. Again, you don't want to fill this your graphic up with too much information, but you want to hit the highlights so that people can kind of get a gist of what your message is. Again, I can, I have NC growth down here a few times too. I was just clicking away. Let me delete those. So I'm going to go back over to my uploads, and maybe I don't want to use another chart, but I'd like to use a photo instead. So I'm just going to delete this one. And I'm going to just add a photo that I've already uploaded to the Canva gallery here, and just put that right in there. So the great thing about using, the templates is that you already have something to work with. All you really need to do is just play with the colors and change it to suit your brand and your message. One of the things that I would like to point out when you're updating your templates is that you can make a copy of the template if you want to have several different infographics for different areas of work. So for an example, if I wanted to focus on just my economic development projects instead of putting all of the projects on one, I could create, one for each. So the way that, of course, I think most of you know this, but I'm just going to say the way that you can do that is you just go up to the file at the top toolbar and click make a copy. So it's going to save the document that you already have, and it's going to create a new one. And it's going to say, just like you would on like a Google Drive or something, it'll say copy of NC growth infographic. So just moving on. Hopefully you guys can see this. I don't know if there's any comments or anything there. So I'm just going to go through and just click out and change all of these photos. And you can either double click on your photo, or you can just drag and drop depending on your need. And of course, making that fit to what you want, what size you need it to be as well. Just keep going here. So one of the things about the photo is it will, if there's a pre-loaded text box or frame, it will load to the size. So sometimes you may have to click around to see whatever the pre selected fields that are already generated for you, in case you need to delete those to accommodate the size that you're looking to accommodate. One of the things when you're making infographics as well, you want to make sure that you include a way for people to contact you. So making sure that it might be your social media handle, your website, a phone number, because if there's someone that's looking at the data and they have more information, more questions, you're going to want to be able to have some place that they know how to reach you to find out that information. So with the infographics, as I said earlier, when you're ready to print them, there are going to be a couple different things that will happen with the Canva site. So usually if you have a pre-selected size, or if you did a custom size, when you go to print, Canva may say that they're going to resize the image for you. So I'm going to show you really quickly, just kind of walking through that process. So say my document is ready. I'm happy with it. I've proofed it. I'm going to print infographic here. So the way Canva has it set up, there are certain types of print that they have sizes pre-selected for. So they're recognizing this as an infographic, and their size requirements might be a little bit different from yours. So one or two things may happen. You may need to readjust after you click the resize button. they're going to save a copy for you. So they're going to, again, you'll have another copy if you have 2 copies, but what it'll do is click on resize design. It's going to make sure that the document fits the sizing requirements for Canva, which is 4 by 9 inches, and that's portrait style. As you can see, now the document has been kind of shifted a little bit. So the way that I had my images and the text boxes at the edge of the page, Canva has created a margin around the entire document. And this is for printing so that things don't get cut off. You can move those things back if you want to kind of have it bleed off the page. But what will happen is Canva will ask you, is this okay? The same way you would do like when you're going to a print shop, they're going to want you to check the borders and make sure, and they're going to warn you of that. So I'm going to keep moving through this process just so that you can see what I'm speaking of. So it's going to say, okay, select the pages. We just want the front page because there's nothing on the back. Of course, you can choose to duplicate the page, and then I'll do that. I'll show you what that looks like. So you can duplicate the page. Of course, the content's not going to be the same on the front and the back. It could be, that's up to you. If you decide to have it printed that way, I would just, let's see, go back up here. So let's close this out because it's going to kind of refresh. So I'm going to click print again. So now it has both pages that are selected here to print, front and back. You can still choose at this point whether you want to print both pages or not, and you can just click those and check the boxes, or you could just click, none for the first or second. Then you're going to choose your paper type. It always asks for printing if you want envelopes with those cards and infographics, so you can just uncheck that if you don't need any envelopes with it. So when you go through all these steps, it's letting you know what sizes the document will be, and you click on the continue button. This is what I was referring to earlier. It's getting ready to print, but it's still going to ask you to fix the issues that they've highlighted as errors or printing issues. So you'll then see these little blue indicators which are around the margins. And sometimes it's okay because you have things just overlapping. For an example, if you click on the actual field where the little blue indicators are, it'll just show you the parameters of that image or that text box. And if things are okay and you want it to print that way, that's fine, but it's just giving you an opportunity to fix those errors. You can also just click the indicator to slide the button over, and it will automatically fix all of your issues. And it will do that for both pages if you click move elements out of danger. So they're just trying to give you an opportunity to correct those. Also, it will let you know if your image is not high quality, which that's funny because this one's supposed to be, but it's really going to make sure that you go through all the checks and balances before you print and add to cart. If you want to look at it on paper, you can also download the PDF to proof it one more time before you actually print the document. So I believe that is all for creating an infographic. There are lots of bells and whistles with creating an infographic that you can navigate through by going to the Help Center. There will be a list of how to create a design, basically just like a generic help guide that will walk you through how to create an infographic. The key thing that I want to just note here is that when you're creating an infographic, again, you want to make sure that your message is clear, that you're using high-level bullet points, not a lot of text, but using a combination of paragraphs and accompanying that with data or data points that you want to convey for your cause or your organization. So that is going to be all for our recorded session for using creating infographics with a template. If you have any questions, feel free to send a note to Uplift, and I'll be happy to do a one-on-one session with anyone who wants to have a slower pace walkthrough of this tutorial.